That can only mean one thing, that we're heading into a long weekend, 4 days away from work. Normally something to celebrate, but this week, time to stay at home. We're going to have some fun. We're going to open some some 93-94 Upper Deck Special Edition cards that arrived during the week. Unfortunately, the post office wasn't as good for us as we were hoping, but it is a fairly unique box of cards. We'll cover off some of the stuff that has happened throughout the week, have a general chat, and as usual in what has become an isolated Free Time Friday, I'm here by myself. So join us, drop some comments, and let's get the show on the road. Who is this? Michael Jordan! Snap! Ring the bell! Ring the bell! And we're back. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, I am Stuart. I am the host of Free Time Friday, a show that spawned out of absolutely nothing other than me buying some basketball cards and opening them and the guys getting around us. I'm up here in the Ferguson Group Media office and I am by myself. Isolation in its truest form, upstairs with no one to talk to. So why not talk to a whole heap of you live at 5 on a Friday, but this time it's a Thursday. What we do on the show, it's pretty straightforward. I rediscovered my childhood passion for basketball cards recently, and we opened basketball cards on the show. As an attachment to talking about things that have happened during the week and general business discussion. Now, we've been working hard during the week. Joey, our main man, has managed to get together some upgrades for the show from last week. We had a few technical difficulties. So this week we have a second camera for the basketball cards, so you guys at home will get to see a lot more than me trying to hold the photo or the card up to the camera. And as usual, we will be interacting with those of you who comment on the live Facebook feed. So if you are watching, do drop a comment. It's an interactive show. We'd love to hear from you. So you'll see when Joey puts up the insert picture now. There you go. Look at that. That we've got there a 93-94 Michael Jordan Skylights card from a box that we opened up during the week. I got sick of waiting for Thursday to roll around, so I opened up a box of cards by myself. And I remember at school these cards I thought they were awesome. The Michael Jordan card actually was pretty average, but there were a full set of these. Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, who else was there? Anyway, there were plenty of cards in that set. So that came out of that. We got a few other Jordans and bits and pieces as well. We have a couple of boxes from that set left to open up, which we will do over the coming weeks. The great thing about the setup that Joey's managed to put together for us is that we can now take guests on our show. In the background, we had been working on another podcast that we were going to stream live as well. But unfortunately, due to the old My Corona, we can't do that because of social distancing, which is perfectly okay. So on this show instead, we have managed to get that set up to work. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking for some guests to come on and join us, have a chat about their industry or their business and what they do, and hopefully have a chat with them too about some of the things from their childhood that they really enjoyed or missed, or toys or things like that they got a kick out of when they were a kid. So that covers off an update on our stream and what we've got set up and how the show's progressing. What I also wanted to touch base on quickly is the 4 days coming up. Now, obviously we've all been warned. There's been plenty of people fined, including 11 people fined for having a dinner, or 10 or 9 people fined for getting together and having dinner, which I find absolutely hilarious because it cost them $11,000 because they thought they were above the law. Stay at home. 4 days off. Granny will not be pissed off if you don't visit her. What people will be pissed off about is getting a $1,650 fine for not following the rules. I know there's lots of you out there who think that it's a conspiracy. It's not. Wear your armadillo helmets at home. Don't go out. The good news is that I've heard that rabbits cannot get COVID-19. That means that you should get a visit from the Easter Bunny still. So stay at home, eat, drink, enjoy your chocolate, but do not go out unless it's absolutely necessary. At some stage, I would like to see the rest of my family, and that will not happen if the lockdown does not stop. Pretty straightforward. In other news, the JobKeeper payment has passed the lower house and the Senate. This is great news for everyone who owns a business and the employees of that business. It doesn't cover off absolutely everyone, so before people jump on top of me and start saying that people that are foreigners or whatever the case might be aren't entitled to the payment, I know, but there are 6 million Australians who are. You cannot shout down the government for what they have done for the assistance package so far. Far from being a biased perspective, no one knows how to react in the environment that we're in, and I think so far they've done a pretty reasonable job of trying to cover everyone off and keep the country afloat. So hopefully we start seeing payments come through for that over the next couple of weeks, which will flow through onto employees who've been stood down or into businesses to keep people employed and active. So a good achievement during the week there. I've decided that we're going to start doing a shout out to a local restaurant or cafe or business during this show on a Thursday today or generally on a Friday. And the reason for this is not because we're going to get paid, not because we're sponsored. It's literally because if you listened to the show last week and you watched it to the end, at the end of the show I said, do somebody else a favor, order some takeaway, you've deserved it. There's a lot of small businesses out there struggling, and obviously the restaurant sector has been hurt the most. So what I'm going to do is, if you own a cafe or a restaurant and you have converted yourself to do takeaway or prepackaged meals or whatever it might be that you've done, email us, send me an email, stuart@fergusongroupmedia.com, and I'll try and get you on the show. If we get a few people, we'll do a couple of shout outs on the show quickly to try and help spread the word and get your message out there. So today I just picked a business that I have personally shopped from before. As I said, there's no paid endorsement here. They haven't asked me to do it. I hope they don't mind, but I love their food, so I'd like to give them a shout out, which is Between Two Buns. A burger joint out in the western suburbs. They've got 4 locations, and excuse me while I quote, Altona, Williamstown, Sunbury, and Hoppers Crossing, which is the store I went to. The food there is fantastic. If you love your burgers, your brioche bun style stuff, multiple patties, cheese, all the good bits and pieces. If you're not into Macca's and you want more gourmet style food, loaded fries, these guys are the place to go if you're in the western suburbs. They're open, they're doing delivery, and I'm sure they'd really appreciate your business. They are on Uber Eats, Menulog, and DoorDash. And I know at the moment, Uber Eats, if you're an ING customer, you're going to get free delivery there as well. So a ripper deal, and you'll support a local business that employs locals. They're big supporters of a couple of local footy teams as well, so they certainly put back into the community. So right now would be the time to jump on their website and go and grab some takeaway, particularly tonight, Thursday night before a long weekend. No one wants to be cooking, so do them a favor. That's Between Two Buns. Google it, you'll find them, order some food, and support a local business if you can. New segments. So we've been flat out this week putting together more content again. So next week, happy to announce that we're launching, and I did put a post up on our Facebook page, a new segment called If I Were A. And what we're doing here is we're trying to help businesses that obviously have been impacted by what's going on by offering a situation of if I were a. So if I were a hairdresser, fortunately I'm not, because I don't think that would be good for anyone else. But if I were a hairdresser, if I were a laundromat, if I were a chef, how would I market my business now? What would I do? How would I use social media and the things that we understand to promote that business during this downturn, and to position the business for the future? So again, if you are in that situation, or if you're struggling, or if you're looking for ideas as to how to market your business, then drop us a line. Again, Stuart@fergusonmediagroup.com. at fergusongroupmedia.com, sorry, and I would be more than happy to help you out, get your industry up, and even get you on the show through Zoom, and have a chat with you about how we would go about marketing your business. So the other thing that we've got is starting next week, Joey's been working hard on some how-to content. So how to use your phone, how to get the best out of your phone in terms of filming, what type of content to be putting onto the different platforms, and how to use them again to help promote your business. So if you are struggling for ideas, we'll have all of that information up on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel, which we have recently launched. We did try and get this onto the YouTube channel tonight, but technology beat us once again. So, always 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. So we'll have that up there next week. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be putting that across the platforms very shortly. So my favorite bit of the night, I have absolutely been hanging out for this packet to arrive from America. So this is what we're opening tonight. We've got a box of 93, I kept saying the wrong year, 93, 94 special edition Upper Deck. You can see there that it is wrapped in the plastic original like we like it. We've still got a few other bits and pieces to come, but this was one that I was desperately waiting for. It arrived wrapped in a local American newspaper, which was from Valentine's Day. Very interesting reading, their local rag. It's not too dissimilar to ours, to be honest, full of mainly rubbish. But it did tell me that fudge brownies are the way to keep your relationship vibrant. Don't mind a brownie, so probably don't disagree with that recommendation at all. So while I'm opening this, I've been doing a hell of a lot of sim racing over the last 2 weeks, which has been awesome fun. Running the Ferguson Group Media Commodore in the Australian, or the virtual version of the Australian Sports Sedan Series. That has gone off. We had a lot of viewers on that feed, and I'll talk a bit more about that later in the show. So here we go, crispy and in gold packets. Have a look at that. As usual, we'll do the smell test. There's that one there. Well, I've got to get used to having this other camera there. What we'll do is we'll just set that one over here. Hopefully it's going to stand up. No, it's not going to play. Yeah, we'll just leave that there for the minute. That's okay, Joe. It doesn't matter that it's not quite in the picture. So that's what we're opening. For those of you who are looking at it, that's what we're doing today. So let's get into it. I don't know what's in this. I don't know if there's any specials. I'm not really sure what I'm expecting to find, other than it looked pretty special. So we'll have a look. Okay, electric court cards. So there might be one of those in every pack. Everyone probably looks at me funny for sniffing the cards, but you know when you're young and you've got that, you go somewhere and it smells like something or smells familiar, or you go somewhere now and you get a smell and you're like, oh, that reminds me of such and such from when I was a kid. That's what these remind me of. So nothing in that first pack. So yeah, we were doing the Sports Sedan Series the other night. The first race was actually on Tuesday night, and got really good coverage. I think there was 5,000 or 6,000 people that watched it. So, and interestingly enough, we had the, I don't know how many of you would have seen last night and watched the V8 Supercar first round as well. Esports are really taking off. We've spoke about this last week in terms of the development of esports and the coverage that you get. The exposure is massive at the moment in terms of the price as well that you're going to pay for it. But it's a really good place to be heading if you're looking for places to advertise at the moment, in my opinion. So we've certainly jumped on board and supported the category that we're running in. But I know the V8s had really good numbers last night. I didn't manage to find out what they were officially before coming on tonight. But while I was watching, there was 11 or 12,000 people watching on Facebook, and they had that coverage on Facebook, Twitch. It was on Foxtel. I think Channel 10 had it on one of their channels as well. So yeah, why do we smell test? Great question, Kat. We do it because it reminds me of when I was a kid, to be brutally honest. As I said before, it's one of those familiar smells. It's like when you walk into, walk into a house and you know they're cooking fresh bread or something like that. And the basketball cards, they have a not a bad smell. They smell, I don't know, they just smell like they smell. It's hard to describe. They smell processed. So I just do it because the first week we did it and the cards smelled like Dad's board games. And you'll know what that means. Katrina's actually my sister. So yeah, it smelled like Dad's board games. Chris Webber, look at that one. So yeah, that's why we do it, just to see what it smells like, basically. All right, so we've stumbled across a Michael Jordan, so we will put that one into the frame. It's one that I haven't seen before. They've all got these electronic court ones in it, so I'll just put this one up. So this is a October 6th. This will be Michael Jordan. Switch this one over. This is Michael Jordan announcing his retirement, I believe. And the only reason I say that is because if we look at the back of the card, it's got a picture of him playing baseball. So when Jordan came out and said he was going to retire, he was heading off to play baseball instead. So I don't think it was this early that he retired. 93, 94, yeah, maybe it was actually. So the Bulls had just won their third title in 93, 94. So that probably might be it, actually. But I'll find out more about that. So that's a new card. I haven't seen that one before, and we certainly don't have it in the collection. So a little bit of gold there for us in this open. We've got another box of cards that are coming that I'm really excited about, where there is there's a card in there, a Jordan card in there that will, hopefully if we get it, be worth a fair bit of money. The market for Jordans is going up, which is good. There's a new documentary out on him actually coming out on Netflix, I think, at the moment, just about his journey through basketball. So be interesting to have a look at that as well. So yeah, so the Sim Sports are going berserk. I'm going to put that one around the right way. There you go, Michael. So the Sim Sports are going berserk. Oh, I haven't quite got that in the frame there. Yeah, the car racing stuff's going really well, and that's only going to keep growing as people continue to be isolated and stuck at home. So, yeah, if you're having a look around for something to watch, maybe give it a try. Is it the same as the real thing? No, it's not the same as the real thing, but it's better than nothing. Absolutely nostalgia. What do you miss from when you were a kid? All right, what have we got? Another double. So to those of you tuning in, thanks for joining us as we open a 93-94 Upper Deck Special Edition box that arrived in the post through the week, all from the States. Speaking to the postman this morning, and he said he is busier now than he is at Christmas. If that gives you any idea of how much people are shopping online. Be a good time to own some shares in eBay or in the old bookstore. What's it called? Amazon. So I'm getting lots of these electric court cards, but they're pretty average to look at. So how much do you pay for the whole box? Around about $50. And so far to date, our biggest find has been a Jordan card that recently sold for $1,100. So it's kind of like gambling. albeit I'm not a big gambler at all, but that's kind of what it's like, because obviously you don't know what you're going to get in the box. All I know is, having looked at what's sold recently, what some things are worth. So when we get through the boxes, it is about identifying the ones that are worth some value. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure that I'm going to sell any of them. It's more about keeping and collecting for me. So, as usual, all these things that I had when I was a kid are all coming back into fashion. So if you've kept them, you generally can make a little bit of money out of them. So going back, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I sold a He-Man toy that I had when I was a kid. I had the complete thing that I'd kept and still had, and we sold it for $200 or $300. So, yeah, all those nostalgia toys are coming back and getting popular again. I have a full-size Voltron as well, but the boys play with that too much, so that is not going anywhere. So we're not having too much luck today in terms of getting anything that's interesting. These will all add to the set, but they're not that interesting. So I don't know about you guys, but over the next 4 days, I have basically the back of my car at the moment looks like a Jim's Mowing franchise. I have a lawnmower and blower and whippersnipper and stuff that I'm taking home from work to spend some time in the garden, which is not my favourite thing to do, but it needs to be done. And cleaning out the gutters. Very fascinating stuff. So I spoke about it last week. I've also been watching a lot more of these card auctions that happen from a company in the States, where you basically buy a spot in an auction and they would have a box of cards like this, and they might have, say, 50 packs in this particular auction, and you get to buy a spot in that auction. So it might be that they offer 50 spots, each spot gets a pack, and then they randomly generate the order in which those packs get opened or get handed out. And in doing that, you buy a spot, so you effectively, again, you're betting on the fact that you're going to get something reasonably good. I had one on in the background today, and they had, so the most valuable Jordan card is a 1987 Fleer rookie card. And when they're in mint condition, one that was in mint condition that was signed sold for, I think, $100,000. Anyway, so they had this auction on. They were actually doing it for through a deck of 86, 87 Fleer cards, and one guy got Michael Jordan rookie card that was like a graded 9, and took that home. So I think he paid $10 or $15 to get into the auction, and that card, even not signed, will still be worth anywhere between probably $4 to $8 grand. So, really good value, but of course there's the risk involved. I have got some graded cards coming, so that in one future episode we can go through the graded cards, and I can show you what they look for and how they grade the cards, and what we're planning on doing with the Jordan collection that we're getting is to get them. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'll have a look at it. It's not a great player, but, well, he probably thinks he is, so it's probably a bit harsh. So we've got, get Michael out of the way there. Just give you a quick flash of this one. So we've got a David Robinson card there. He's not the one that they made the song after. So we'll keep the Jordan aside. So it's just a standard common card, but David Robinson was a pretty popular player. And then we've got this Sean Bradley Sixers behind the glass card. So these are one of the rare, this isn't rare because of the player, but this is one of the uncommons that comes in the set. When I can finally get it up there, we'll get this sorted as well. I'll get a stand during the week. All right, there we go. So that's actually a hologram card. So when you move it, it shimmers. And again, because of the age of some of these cards, I mean, you got to think these cards were probably packaged in 1994. So they're 26 years old. and the cards actually, the chrome work on them, or the shimmer on them fades, even though they're in packages. So to get one that's in really good condition, that still actually moves and works, makes them more valuable. So unfortunately not a massive player, but still probably going to be worth something. So we'll keep moving on through it. I'll leave him there for you all to have a look at. Spoken about it before, I'm still getting over the shock of the Pokemon cards being worth $10,000 to $15,000, and same with Magic cards. It's just unbelievable. Okay, so not a lot in this box either. So I imagine there's a lot more people doing cooking at home. I was happy to see that we could get flour again at the shops the other day, which meant that we were able to do some cooking at home, like I do the cooking at home. And all my wife does, fortunately, because she is very good in the kitchen. So that was handy. And school's going back next week in some sort of variation. So, but certainly not back at class. Okay, we've got another one there, so that's good. We'll put that one up in a sec. Probably not worth a lot, but still a reasonable card. So we'll get rid of old Shawnee there. Alright, so we'll put up Shaquille there. Thanks, Christy. Yes, I know I need a haircut. I will get one over the weekend, so good luck to me for next Thursday, or next Friday we'll be back on the air again. So this is just to put up just a common Shaquille O'Neal there. Everyone, or a lot of people will know who Shaquille O'Neal is because he is humongous and very popular. And a very good businessman as well. A lot of these guys have done that, done very well in business themselves. That is another good question, Kat. So this actually, these boxes have on them the odds, which is just on the back end of the box. So yeah, there's no guarantee. Basically, this one says that there's 1 in 1. So electric court, you get 1 in every pack, which we knew. Behind the glass, which is that chrome one that we got, is a 1 in 30. Electric gold insert's a 1 in 36. And the behind the glass trade card is 1 in 360, along with the US basketball trade cards are 1 in 360. So there's no guarantee at all. That's why I said it's kind of like gambling, because you're buying a box, you don't know what's going to be in it, you don't know what's in the pack. All you know is the sets that had cards that are valuable in them, and then if you can still find boxes of those unopened, then there's obviously a chance that you could find that card. So we've got one of those boxes coming, and hopefully out of that we can pull a $900 to $1,000 Jordan, which would be great. We'll add that to the collection and let that appreciate over the next couple of years. Just a Hakeem Olajuwon electric court card there. That's not rare or anything, it just looks kind of cool. Bill Cartwright, blah, 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 blah. No one else really that important in this one. Just put the card close up, back up, Joe, if you can. That's the one. Let me get that fixed. There we go. Hakeem Olajuwon was huge again. A lot of these guys are massive. 6'7", 7 foot. Shaquille O'Neal's 7 foot tall. He's huge. Imagine rocking up to his house to pick up his daughter for a date. Whew. Alright, another Hakeem Elijah one. Latrell Sprewell, another big player from the 90s. So in this box you get 36 packs. So it's worthwhile if you've got any old collectible cards to pull them out and just go through eBay, which is how we get an idea of the value of the cards, as well as being in Facebook groups. But jump on eBay and have a look through the sold section for whatever it is you might be looking at buying, and it'll give you a good idea of what things are worth. And that's also a good tip if you're selling old toys or looking for things to flip. So if you've got, if you find something at a flea market that you think might be worth something, if you've got your phone, just jump on eBay and look it up and see what it might be worth. You'll find some gold. You always do. Well, almost always, unless they're just selling junk, which happens. Alright, so we'll keep going through. I'm a bit disappointed, to be brutally honest, because I thought, given the type of box, I got sold by the gold. I thought, given the colour of the box and all that sort of stuff, that there was going to be some value in it. But at this stage, I don't think there will be. The Sean Bradley might get a couple of dollars. He was in Space Jam as well. He lost his talent, and the Looney Tunes helped him get it back. Haven't seen the new version of that. If anyone's seen the new version of that, have a look. How do they determine the value of the card? They determine the value of the card based on the number of them that were produced, and also the desirability of the card itself. So a lot of the time the market dictates what the card's worth. Obviously the player helps. So Michael Jordan's popular. Obviously LeBron was popular. So it just depends. The popular players, generally their cards are obviously worth more money. If they're just a baseline card and there were heaps of them made, then obviously they're generally not worth as much. But if it's a rare card, they've changed the way they do it now, and they actually bring out like 1 of 1 or 1 of 10 to give it that exclusivity. So it's a little bit controlled by the card producer, or a lot more controlled by the card producer now than it was back in these days when they were letting them out. So, but it's still controlled a little bit. So we've got some where there's Scottie Pippen. We've got some cards where there's few, and obviously they're the ones that are more valuable. But for instance, there's the Jordan card that we're hoping to pull out of a Fleer 93-94 Fleer box that is coming. Was worth nothing back in the day, and now it's just skyrocketed in value because people like the look of the card. Jordan cards generally are going up in value just because of the age bracket of people who've got money to buy them, or had money to buy them. And he himself, the documentary, awareness, kids buying cards again, so it all contributes to the value of the cards changing. Back in the day, there was a thing called a Beckett. There still is Beckett. They do card grading as well now as valuation. So there's information there on the web if you want to get it. Of course, like everyone, there's is our subscription service now too, so you can't get it all for free. But the market dictates. If you jump on, there's a heap of even for Pokemon or otherwise. There are a heap of community groups, and you can, just by watching and listening and learning, you can work out what's worth what and what's worth not. So, but basketball cards is where I've spent my time and what I understand. So rather than playing in a space that I don't know, we're here doing what we're doing. I would really like to be doing this whilst having a conversation with other people as well. So as I said, if you are interested in coming on the show to have a chat about business or otherwise, email me at stuart@fergusongroupmedia.com, and we'll be in touch and see what we can do about getting you on the show to have a chat about nostalgic things and business as well. So not good. I'm really shattered. What would I pick? I am on the lookout for some early Magic cards. Magic the Gathering is something that I did as a kid as well. I, like all my mates, did it and enjoyed it, and I've still got all my old cards, but the Series 1 cards, which was just slightly before I started collecting them, are where the real value is. There's some cards that can't be used in the game anymore because they're too good in the way the rules were written. So I'd be looking for doing some research and keeping an eye out for some early Magic cards if you're looking to do them as an investment. Obviously, any early basketball cards you can find are generally going to be good. Early Pokemon cards. It's all about doing the research to find out what you should be getting if you're looking to get into investing in cards and making money out of them. But remember, like everything, it's like a share market, or a stock market, I should say, in that everything goes up and down. So the bottom fell out of the card market years ago, and a lot of people who bought up a whole heap of stuff for a lot of money, it would end up being worth nothing. So you just got to be careful and then sit on it and hold on to it for a while. Obviously, basketball cards from when I was a kid, looking in the 90s, so it's 20 years ago. So to get some increase in value, that's a really long window. So the cards that we're buying at the moment that we'll be keeping are probably, they'll appreciate more, but in the short term, they'll appreciate a little bit. And then the market at some stage will drop out again, and probably as the kids that are into it now move away. I mean, basketball is such a popular sport that there'll always be value in the cards. Pokemon, you're a little bit more at their mercy of the manufacturer. Same with Magic cards. So if they make changes to the way the cards work or the way the game works, then you might miss out on some value because of that. So you've really just got to be careful. Research, as usual, is the key to everything. So in terms of the limited edition cards, like I was saying, so last week, if you didn't see the show, we picked up this, which is as big as it looks. This is one of those classic stories of buying something on the internet that you thought was a completely different size. I actually thought it was this size. So to put that into context, sorry, I'm back to front. This is a normal basketball card. So they do come in different sizes. These are a limited run. So I was trying to get, this is my favorite basketball card. I don't know why, other than the fact that I really like the look of the card. It's a 91, 92 Upper Deck Michael Jordan. I have this card in regular size, and I remembered that as a kid there was an oversized version of it. So I grabbed this one, and this is number 7,204 of 10,000 produced in this size. So we'll send this over to the States for grading once all this stuff is over. So this at the moment is considered what they call a raw card because it's not graded. Once it's graded, even though it's in a case now, it goes into effectively a locked case, and it has grading information across the top of it here and tells you out of 10 what it is based on how the card is centered on the card itself, so how the picture's centered on the card, the sharpness of the corners, and the condition of the face and of the back of the card. So this one, in doing that, what one of our strategies is to look for buying raw cards. So by raw cards, obviously we're opening packets and we're finding this is a raw card, and then we'll send that off for grading. And generally when they're graded, they increase in value because for someone looking to buy it as a investment, they know that it's the real thing, and they know that it hasn't, had the corners trimmed. So people, to make the cards look better, I've got some hacked cards from when I was a kid, but the corner of the card, if it's not sharp, reduces the value of the card because it's not considered to be in mint condition. So people, because people are assholes, they actually trim the card and ever so slightly trim the card to sharpen the corners. So investors who want to buy cards and keep, obviously for the purpose of down the track making money out of them, prefer the ones that have been graded by the grading companies because they know that they're real. They know that they're the quality that that you're being told they are. And they know that, at some stage in the future, when it appreciates, it'll be worth more money. So our strategy is to keep buying where we can. Obviously, at the moment, we're not buying anything because of the situation, but buying raw cards like this one, getting them graded, and then keeping them to resell at some stage down the track. Mainly our strategy is to buy Jordans, but other cards like this, which, this one we picked up today, which might have a sentimental value to someone, or they really like the player, or whatever the case might be one that we send off and get graded as well, just because it's an uncommon card. All right, well, that brought us to the end of the Upper Deck box. I'm shattered that we really got nothing out of it, but keeping it in perspective, it's the first week where we've actually got really nothing out of it. With Michael Jordan retirement card's probably going to be worth a little bit. The Sean Kemp card might be worth a little bit, but nothing diabolically awesome. Well, actually, that doesn't make any sense at all. But nothing that we're going to really hang out to keep or get sent away. So the Jordan will go into the collection. It's one we haven't got. In the next couple of weeks, I'll get all of the cards we've got out of these packs together, and we'll go through and I'll show you what we've picked up. So as usual, just in finishing up the show, remember, this weekend you've got 4 days. Stay at home, play with the kids, eat lots of chocolate, do all of the things that you should do. Don't go out. Don't be like the dinner party of 9 that got fined $11,000 because they thought it'd be good to catch up. And if you can, get a home delivered meal, use Uber Eats. The small business that you're supporting will appreciate it more than you can understand. And as I said, give the guys at Between Two Buns a try. They'll really appreciate your business if you're out in the western suburbs. Thanks for watching. We'll put a replay of this up onto our socials. And as I said, if you're interested in any free marketing advice, or if you're interested in coming on the show, drop me a line, Stuart@fergusongroupmedia.com, and we will see you then. Thanks very much for watching.